there should be no movement of persons or vehicles from one place to another.
Kuletea wananchi wasiwasi mwingi.
My name is Arap Moi, the fifth born son of Mzee John Amieno. Originally I come from Nyakach, but at the moment I'm a permanent resident of Moroni Settlement Scheme. I finished my school in 1979. And I decided to look for a job. And at that time, there was recruitment of Kenya Airforce. And so I decided to try my luck, since that one was a career that I had cherished so much, even when I was a young boy. So I went for recruitment early 80s. And I got recruited. I think it was 1979, and then 80s I went to training in Lanet. I finished my training the same year.
Haya, mimi naitwa Michael Momanyi Gisore. Nilisaliwa Kisii ambayo now is a part of Nyamira district. Sasa nilimaliza shule yangu 1978. Nikaingia Air Force 1979 September. Nikapelekwa tulikuja Isili. From Isili we were sorted out, and then we went to Lanet. We did our basic training, military basic training for 7 months. After that, we graduated, and then we came back to Isili. Since when I was young, I used to see the aircraft flying all over our places. So I had an interest to change the place and feel the excitement of the fighter jets. So as I was training, I was eagerly waiting for me. And that was the time when the Air Force was becoming very famous. I really wanted to prove that I was capable and meeting my expectation or my hope in life to serve my country.
When I was amongst the people selected, I was very, very happy, because that is a career that I have had loved throughout my life. After being taken to Lanet, we immediately started training, and we did our training for about 7 months. And there was a pass-out parade. And I was posted to Isili. The rest of my guys were posted to Nanyuki. Some of them are posted to Rajia. I was posted to a section called CSD. That means Central Supply Depot. And I was going to train as a supplier. And before that, there was the then President Moi was going to be the chairman, the first chairman from East Africa, chairman of organization OAU. So I was lucky because we were fresh guys from training. We were the guys who were taken in to start practicing for parade of the Guard of Honor. And I think if you can understand the Guard of Honor, it's when heads of state come to visit our country, guards of honor are mounted. So I was one of the lucky guys who got that opportunity. And I performed the Guard of Honor throughout that year because the OAE was taking place in Kenya.
After finishing my basic training at Eastleigh, I was posted at Nanyuki Air Base. So that's where I was attached as an air traffic control assistant.
Then came this disturbance. It was on August 1st.
This is the voice of Kenya, Nairobi. Time now is 12 minutes past 6. You are hereby informed that everybody is requested to stay at home. There should be no movement in town. The government has now been taken over by the military until further notice.
I was just sleeping in my pillet, that's at Nyanyuki. As I was sleeping at around 3 in the morning, I had some gunshots. So after the gunshots, there was this station siren, there was the station alarm. And as military officers, when we are in the training, you are told that when you hear the station alarm, you have to dress up, you run to the parade ground. From there, you are given further instruction. After hearing that, I dressed up, I last to the parade ground. On reaching the parade ground, I got people who were armed. They were saying that the country has been attacked. So everybody get armed. So I went to the armor, I took a gun. After taking the gun, we came out, we were told that guard the base.
When the coup was happening, I was in my house. I used to stay outside. I rented a small house in Uruma. So when the coup happened, as usual, you have to go back to the barracks. I went back to the barracks, and by the time I reached the barracks, one thing, there were no guns. All the guns had been taken by my colleagues. And we were told to wait for guns that were coming from we don't know where. So I just stayed in the barracks with the rest of my guys until the army guys came to capture Eastleigh. So I got afraid, not only myself, but with some of my guys. We said we cannot get captured because we don't know what will be the next move. So I jumped over the fence and I went back to my house and I hid in my house.
Then, one day in the wee hours of August 1, 1982, unknown to the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, his junior officers attempted to topple him as their commander and President of the Republic. It was the darkest day in the history of the country. The nation survived military rule by a whisker.
We were just guarding the base. After guarding the base, we stayed there. There was no further instructions. I stayed there up to noon time when I went for my lunch. From my lunch, I got the army officers from first care. They came in, we talked, and they saw that there was nothing wrong. They went, they saw everything's okay. Me, I went back to my period. As I was leaving my period, I had some gunshots. After coming out, I found that the army officers had surrounded us and they told us to surrender. We surrendered. We were heaped together in the supply depot store. That's where we were put, all of us. After there, supply depot, that's where we were put, all of us. We slept there on the floor. The following day, they gave us paper to write the statement. We wrote statement on the runway. After writing auto statement, they started interrogating us. After interrogation, all of us, those who had, most of us, we had no knowledge of the coup. There was nobody who had the knowledge of what was happening. Most of us who were there. So we wrote our statement. After finishing the statement, we were grouped: red, blue, yellow, and green. Then from there, we were transported to committee.
The second day is when I reported to the base now. I maneuvered my way, although it was very, very tight. I maneuvered my way to the barracks. I didn't want to be captured because I saw what the captured soldiers what was being done to them. Most of them are being stripped naked. We were beaten, we were whipped, and I got afraid. Some of my guys even died when they were being captured. So I maneuvered my way back to the barracks, and I surrendered myself. And at the gate there, when you enter the gate, they were doing inspection. And before they do inspection, you identify yourself, and they strip you naked at the gate there to look at your body, to look at your pockets, anything that you had, and then you are ushered into the guard room. I thought I was alone. I found so many of my guys in the guard room, and I put on my clothes, and we were made to sit down on the floor, and we thought maybe they will ask us a few questions and let us go, but it didn't happen like that. The prison lorries were brought, and we were ushered into the prison lorries and driven straight to committee. We thought maybe they were going to do interrogation and maybe select the guys who participated in the coup. But that was not the thing. Everybody, provided you reach a committee, you became a culprit. There was an interview there, and they did categorizing us. There was a blue, how do you call it, blue category, white category, yellow category, and red category. So I was placed in a yellow category.
We stayed committee for 3 months. From committee, there was nothing, no interrogation, nothing. Then from committee, we were taken to Naivasha. From Naivasha, we were told to write statements. After writing statements, when you go for a statement, they write, if you cannot answer what they want you to answer, you are taken to a waterlogged cell. The water, you know, so many people had passed through that water. Most of them have relieved themselves there. The water was very dirty. The house was very, very black. It was painted black. There was only one, there was no right way coming inside. You can see right from far by the ventilation which was up there. So after saying, I fought it 3 times inside there while I was there. After coming out, All my legs had swollen. I was not able to swallow anything. I was given some uchi for around 3 days because there was nothing which was given there in that water.
The first guys did some interrogation, and the problem is the moment you leave the cell and go for interrogation, most guys never came back. So we never knew what exactly was being done or was happening to them. It reached a time that I was supposed to go for interrogation, and I was taken from the cells to the interrogation office. There I was asked a few questions whether I knew about the coup, whom we were with, and I told them I was a very young soldier. I didn't know anything. I did not even arm myself. I did not even take place in the coup itself. But all this fell on deaf ears. Nobody wanted to listen to that. When they asked me where I come from, I told them I come from Moroni. But they said, no, Moroni is a settlement scheme. Tell us exactly where your father was born or where your homeland. When I mentioned I come from Nyakach, that one, the Nyakach itself, the mention of Nyakach itself brought me a very big problem. Because the coup plotter, the late senior private Zaka Ochuka, came from Nyakach. So they didn't believe. Even when I told them I didn't know Ochuka, they said, no, you're lying, you're not telling us the truth. The mastermind of the coup comes from your homeland. You must know this guy. And I said, Nyakach is a big place. And even in Damari, I didn't know this guy. The much I know about him is he was the chairman of our mess club. That is only other I knew because he was the chairman of all the private, from senior private to private in the mess. That is all I knew. Nobody could buy my story, and they just told me, "We will see. You will see." And the warden who brought me for the interrogation in the interrogation office took me back again, and that moment I was ushered into a waterlogged cell, and I was told to remove my clothes. We call it birthday suit, and I was wondering, hey, this guy was telling me to remove my clothes. I removed my shirt, and he said, now remove the short. And I thought maybe this guy wanted me to take a shower at this moment. And when I removed the short, this guy pushed me to the water and locked the door. And the torture began now. The water was a filthy water. It was about almost knee high. Whenever you wanted water to drink, they'll tell you to drink that water. Whenever you wanted to go for a long or a short call, they'll tell you that is the place. And so many of our guys had passed through this water. And the water was so dirty and so it was just like sewer. I stayed in that water for about 3 days, and it was becoming too much for me.
I was taken there for 5 days. From there, I was so weak. I came out. I wrote my statement. After writing the statement, I was asked, is this what actually happened? That's what. Then I signed. After signing, immediately, I was brought to Rangata.
I called the warden that I wanted to go to confess. And this guy brought me out of water and took me to the interrogation office again. And when I went there, I refused. I said, no. I don't know anything. I don't know why you want me to sign. There was a statement there written. They wanted me to sign this statement. I said, no. I don't sign something that I did not do. And they said, okay, we will see again. The warden was called again, and I was taken back to the cell. I stayed there for another 3 days, but this time it was horrible. I could not take it anymore. I'd said I'll rather go and die in jail than to die in such a filthy water. So on the 6th day, the 5th night, I fell asleep. I found myself sitting on this dirty water and I slept. When I woke up at about 3 o'clock in the morning, I realized I was going to die. I was dying in this water. Why should I die in this water? Why don't I just go and get jailed, even if it's jail? Let me go to jail instead of dying in this water. So I called the warden again and I told him, this time I'm serious. I want to go and confess. I will sign that statement that you want me to sign. I will sign.
So I was brought to Rangata Palace, where there was this military court-martial. At the court-martial, we were given some advocates from the army. So when you are the advocates at the ear, there's nothing here. You did nothing. You accept it. This is your statement, and all the others we will do what? We will defend you. Then me, when I entered there, I said, yes, that's my statement. That's what I wrote. Then that the officer gave his opinion. From there, I was told to go out. I went out for around 5 minutes. I was called in. Then I was told, now you have been jailed for 2 years. The also took around 15 minutes.
And then at about 8 in the morning, I think it was a Sunday, I was taken out of the water and taken to interrogation room again. And when I went to interrogation office, I can say God was in my corner. Because one thing happened to me. The people who have been interrogating me for the last time I was there were not there. There's a new guy who interrogated me. And he just looked at me and said, hey man, you're a young man. And that time my legs was swollen. He told me, young man, you are going to die in this water. Why, what is it? Why don't you even ask? We knew about this school. But we are here. Some of your guys who've been here knew about this school and they've gone back to work. Why don't you just confess and sign this statement? And then he left me there and he went to another room. Luckily, there was a newspaper. I remember very well, it was a Sunday. There was a newspaper on the desk. This newspaper was put in a way that I could not read it properly, but I could see the headline and a sub-headline. And the headline read, Odinga in Kampala, Jaramogi. I think Jaramogi had fled the country. And the sub-headline, there was this guy called Peter Sapalan, who was one of my colleagues who we were with in the cell here. And this is the guy they've been telling us that this guy has gone back to work, this guy is working and you are suffering here. And I could see the sub-headline, it was under the sub-headline, under his picture, Sapalan has been jailed for 25 years. You know, this one sent a cold shiver down my spine. I said, hey, if this is the guy we were with and they are telling us that this guy has gone back to work, no. I'm not going to sign this statement. Then when that guy came back, he asked me whether I'd seen anything. I told him, no, I didn't see anything. I saw a newspaper, but I didn't read it. And he said, okay, well, unajifanya mjanja, you think you are very clever. He gave me a piece of paper, a full scap, and told me to write my statement. And as I was writing my statement, he was reading something. I didn't know what he was reading. And I took about 40 minutes. I had written my statement and I gave it to him. And he read it. After finishing reading this statement, I saw him smiling. He told me, "Hey guy, you are a very clever chap. You've written this statement just like the one you wrote in committee 6 months ago." But I'm giving you one chance. I will take your statement. You will sign it. But if anybody mention your name, if any of your guys mention your name, that you were involved in this coup, that you knew about this coup, you will die in that water. I told him it's okay. What I've written here is all that I knew. And he called the warden, and he gave instruction that this guy should not be mixed with the rest of the guys, of our guys, because every morning we were taken out to bask in the sun, and when the evening came, we were taken back to the cells. But this guy was told not to mix me together with the rest of the guys, because he had realized I'd read The Nation and about Peter Sapalan. I will go and inform my guys that, hey, people are being jailed. Let us not be cheated that people are going back to work. I stayed in solitary cell for about 2 months until things were relaxed and I was allowed now, I could mix with my guys. After some time, about 7-8 months, we were transferred from Naivasha Maximum Security Prison back to committee. But this time around, we were not taken to committee maximum. We were taken to committee medium prison. And we stayed there for another 2 months. And nobody, we were held incommunicado, nobody even knew what was happening. We could see prison guys and army guys come, pick a few of us and ushered into their lorries, and we never saw them back again. So we were wondering, what is happening? Why are they taking these people? Well, these people are being taken to Kahawa and released. So when my time came, they called my name plus a few of my guys. We were put into prison lorries, driven to Kahawa barracks, and they read the Riot Act to us, that you've been pardoned, we want you to go home and be good boys. Some of our guys were in tattered clothes, because you only had one. The clothes that you arrested with is the clothes that you were in for all those days. So we found a heap of clothes there. we were told to everybody to go and search if you can get a cloth that fits you. And after that, we were given some transport home and put into army lorries and dropped. Some of us were dropped in Machakos, and I myself, I was dropped in railway station. And we were told we should not be seen walking in town. You wait for the train. It was about 12 noon, and the train will come about 5. We were told to be in the station until the train comes, so that you take your train and you must go home.
I joined the military when I was at my prime age. I was only 23 years. And I served the military for only 3 years. That's the time when I was about, but as I was serving, everything turned up suddenly. We did not expect. My life was cut. All my hopes were shattered. And the decisions which were taken against me were not of my making. They were things, those things discouraged me, they disheartened me, they reduced me from whom I was in something else. So when I had known everybody, we had been branded as rebels. So wherever we went, everybody said, you spoiled your job, you are rebels, you are not good people. You know how Nyaya people they were using propagandas.
We had a problem with the special branch, the system itself, the special branch. These guys were following us everywhere. Even in the village, you could not even go anywhere without them knowing you've gone anywhere. So when I got employment with the metal box, this guy followed me, and I was sacked. And the last time I got employment was at Safari Park Hotel, when it was being renovated to what it is today. It used to be a small hotel, but a big renovation was taking place, and I worked there for about 8 months as a casual laborer with so many of our guys, and we were supposed to be absorbed the moment the hotel start working. And on the same day that everybody was being given staff number, four people in black. This story of Men in Black did not begin with the ODM nominations in Kasarani. I saw some men in black. They came to the HR's office, and they stayed there for about 20 minutes, and I was called to the office. And I was asked one question. The HR asked me one question. Apollo, where have you worked before you come here? Where did you work? And I had the sense that something was wrong. I didn't beat about the bush. I told him I was a soldier in the Kenya Airforce. And he asked me what happened. I told him, well, the August 1st disturbance cut my career. And I've been at home. That is the only place that I've worked. And he was not very much impressed. And he told me, you've worked here nicely. You don't have a problem with you. But I hope you've seen some people walk into my office and walk out. I have instruction that you cannot work here.
In 1984, there was a teacher's college advertisement. There was the training was to be at Sronga Girls High School. So I took my documents, I arranged myself, I went there. When I went there, they looked at my document when they were interviewing me, and they asked me where I have been all these years, what I've been doing. I told them I joined the Air Force in 1978, and I was chased in 1982. Then they told me, go out. Then when I went out, they called me, then they told me, now, we are sorry. We can't take you, because of the instruction of the government, you are not the right people to be employed by the government. So I missed that job that way.
There should be no movement of persons or vehicles from one place to another.
Kuletea wananchi wasiwasi mwingi